Uplift Conversations with Visionaries is an inspiring interview series showcasing the journeys of successful entrepreneurs who not only excel in their fields, but also use their success as a force for positive change. Welcome to another episode of Uplift Conversations with Visionaries. We are showcasing so many incredible entrepreneurs on their journey, the highs, the lows, everything in between. Today we have Chris with us, and Chris is going to share a little bit about his journey. I want to welcome you to the show, Chris.
Hey, thank you very much for having me.
All right, let's dive right into it. We don't do too much fluff on these. So, why don't you start by sharing a little bit with us about one of your high points, one of your wins, one of your big successes in business?
Okay, so one of my big successes, most people would probably talk about a dollar number. I'm staying away from that because my business, one of the businesses that I co-founded, called Tunely, enabled me to do something that I find even more success than the money it generated, and that is it actually enabled me to immigrate to Canada as a permanent resident. With a program that was brand new back then. It's called the Startup Visa program, where entrepreneurs from abroad can basically bring their business over to Canada and in return get the permanent residency. My wife and I co-founded the company in Europe. You might hear a slight accent, it's because I'm from Germany originally. And yeah, we were one of the first 100 people that actually got accepted into the program, and were able to immigrate to Canada with our business, become permanent residents, and ultimately citizens of Canada, which then also enabled us to move to the United States, where we are not right now in Dallas. So I would say that was probably one of the business high points of my life, actually having my business enabling me, moving to all these places and immigrating to all these places that I always wanted to move and live, like move to and live in. And yeah, that would I consider that one of my high points.
That's very cool. There are a lot of people who have that wanderer type of spirit. My husband's like that. And
Okay.
there are also a lot of people who have that desire to relocate,
Mm.
to move to a different country. And they allow all of these justifiable reasons to hold them back from ever pursuing that dream. And so you were able to actually leverage your business that you created in order to achieve that other dream, which is super, super cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit
Hmm.
and let's talk about one of your lower points in life or in business, something you went through that sort of knocked you on your ass, so to speak, and became one of those pivotal moments in your life.
You know what? There is two that I can think of, one more personal, one more on the business side. I'm going to briefly talk about both of them. Um, School in Arkansas and then going to college in Texas. Now, the nature of that is that you are over here on a visa, and when your visa expires, you go back to where you come from. And that was probably one of my personal low points when I had to leave Texas, go back to Germany because my visa expired. I was no longer a student. And yeah, that was a depressing time for me, to be honest with you. But also a pivotal moment because that's when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get back to where I actually want to be, which is over here, right? So that was a big moment for me. Obviously, not my most glorious moment, but also I believe the moment where, which enabled all of this, founding a successful company, raising money for it, and now doing business consulting very successfully. So it's number one. Number two is more on the business side of things, with the company Tunely. It was back in 2017. It was late summer, early fall 2017. We were running out of money. And we were literally 1 week away from not making payroll and me having to call all employees and be like, sorry, I let you down. We had an investor lined up. That investor literally backed out a minute before noon. And yeah, so there was that. We were scrambling, like we were in Tennessee at the moment, meeting with music industry people, and And somehow we got invited into an accelerator program to pitch at their event, which would give us a lifeline if accepted. Well, there were like 20 companies pitching at that event and only five getting accepted. We ended up getting accepted, and that was a lot of weight that fell off of my shoulders that day, you can imagine. So yeah, those were the two kind of low points, I would say. One more business related, one more personal.
Someone listening to this is like, oh my God, I can so relate to the last minute, like the
Oh yeah.
last second of the last minute, something shifted.
Mm.
Seemingly unresolvable situation resolved itself. You know, the miracle happened, so to speak. And it's
That it definitely felt that way.
it sounds very much like that is exactly what you experienced. So that's crazy story. And I'm so grateful that there was a happy part of that ending to that particular story. All
Oh
right,
yeah.
let's shift gears one more time. My last
Yeah.
question. So now that you are more successful, how are you paying it forward? How are you giving back and helping others?
Mm. So after I transitioned out of our startup, I started business consulting. Obviously, in the beginning, it was more of a time filler for me. Starting to do that on the side and just trying to see where I can help because I do have a lot of experience having founded two, music tech startups myself, and not just in music industry, but also any company, doesn't matter which industry. It's kind of always the same how companies run. So I do have a lot of experience in that, and that's why I started business consulting and started helping other entrepreneurs do what I managed to do back with my own companies. But even further so, I know there is a lot of people who are abroad, who are overseas, and they want to come over here. They want to come to the States, or they want to come to Canada. And so I started focusing on helping those folks who have, companies in their home country, want to expand over to North America. And I went through that process. So I helped them with it. And you know, it's part of my consulting, but it's not the main part of my consulting. Like my main part of my consulting, where I make my money nowadays, is I help small, medium-sized businesses in North America with automating their businesses and basically streamlining their operations. But my passion project, in a way, is helping foreign entrepreneurs actually coming over here, expanding their operations into North America, and enabling them to qualify for certain visas or for certain immigration paths to actually come over here and live a better life that they always envisioned, just like I did back, 10 years ago.
I love that you are doing something that is so near and dear to your heart. It's a beautiful thing when we have the space, because we've got the financial ability, the mental, emotional capacity to help people in ways that are really meaningful to us. And so it's always very cool to hear how each and every successful individual is doing it different.
Mm,
And it's so unique for each of us. And I love that. So
for
I
sure.
want to thank you so much, Chris, for being with us. I know it went fast, and I'm so grateful that you were able to share a little bit of your journey with us today.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
And thank you to everyone who is tuning in. You know, we're doing this for you. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so. And until next time, we will see you in the next episode.